Good morning. I'm Rose from Grandma Rose's Open Pantry, and I put up a video yesterday. It was of a maple egg custard, and I used a keto crust for it. It was almond flour, coconut flour, butter, and a little brown swerve. Well, I went ahead and posted that video before I really saw what that crust was going to do. When I took it out of the oven, we tasted of it. It was good, but the longer it sat, that crust, because it's almond and coconut and it's kind of, it's a nut, it kind of just absorbed up into that pie. So it didn't work at all. So there were some that saw the video before I took it down. So just ignore that crust. I'm going to make this pie again for you today, but today I am using a gluten-free crust. I'm using one I know works. That one yesterday, I told y'all I never had done it, so I was just trying it to see, and I should not have posted that video until the pie had sat for a while and I really saw what it was going to do, but I was not satisfied. Now, it works well. That crust works really well, and with something like a cheesecake, something that's not real, just liquid. Like when I poured the pie in, it was just like pouring milk in. It was liquid. So what it did, it just kind of disintegrated that crust, the almond and the coconut flour.
Just turned it soggy.
It just turned it soggy. So it works well in cheesecakes and things like that don't have a lot of liquid in them, but it does not work with a liquid pie. I don't even think it would work with an apple pie because the juice in the apples, I don't think it would work. But today, what I'm using is a gluten-free 9-inch pie shell, and it is a no sugar added. It has 2 grams of sugar, but there's no sugar added. The sugar that's in it comes from, I guess, palm fruit or something like that, but it has on the nutritional facts, it has includes no sugar added.
No granular sugar.
No sugar added.
Yep.
No added sugars. So I'm fixing to make this pie for you again, and I'm going to put it in a crust that I know works because I've used this crust before. So the recipe for this, and I will have it on what I did, I took a picture of it. So I'm just going to post the recipe for y'all. It's 5 eggs, 1 cup of whole milk. No, this one. Okay, 5 eggs. It's on the back. 1.5 cups of whole milk. 1.5 cups of half and half. And I use half and half because there's no sugar in the half and half. It has 1 carb, I think, but the whole milk has more sugar and it has more natural sugar. It has no sugar added, but it still has more natural sugar and more carbs. So I use half whole milk and half and half. 2/3 cups of sweetener, 1.5 teaspoons of maple flavoring, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. That's all that's in it. And it's a maple egg custard. So I'm going to put my eggs.
And it is delicious.
I'm going to put my eggs in my blender, in my mixer. And I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to talk loud because the mixer's on. And for my sweetener today, I'm using, it is better to use a powder sweetener, natural sweetener, than it is your granulated. This is King Arthur baking alternative sugar, and this is brown sugar swerve right here. And I know this is granulated, but it has a good bit of moisture in it, so it really blends up well. But the majority of what I'm using is the powdered sweetener. And we've got 3 cups of milk, we've got a 1/4 cup of melted butter, and we've got 1 1/4, and we're gonna put 1 1/2 teaspoons of maple, pure maple extract. I'm almost out of maple. I gotta get some more. Okay, to that I'm gonna add my sweetener. You can tell it's powder the way the dust that came up. Now that's packed brown sugar. When I say brown sugar, you know I mean brown swerve, natural sweetener. And I'm going to let that mix because I want to mix that brown swerve in really well. I want to make sure it gets kind of melted in there. Okay, I'm going to add my milk. I'm going to add my 1/4 cup of melted butter. And I'm just going to let that mix for a little while.
Well, now, you're making enough to make the ones without the crust too.
I am.
It's sort of like what?
Kind of like creme brulee.
So she's going to make some of those, and those are just delicious with no crust at all. I mean, they are really good.
And I'm going to get my little dish up here, honey. I'm going to spray it just a little bit, not much. Just a little bit.
We took one of these small ones yesterday to our daughter's house, Jenny's house, and it was gone before you could say scat.
Okay, let me check. 5 eggs, 1 1/2 cups of milk, 1 1/2 cups of 1/2 2/3 cups of sweetener. Half of that is your powdered sweetener. A fourth of it is, 1/4 cup is your brown swerve. 1 1/2 teaspoons of maple extract. Okay, I got on here 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Let me get it. I forgot to get it out. But now what I'm using, because I want it to have the maple flavor, I'm using imitation vanilla flavor, and I'm gonna use only a 1/2 teaspoon of that. That's just to give it just a little, maybe a little vanilla, or it enhances this maple. So let me mix that up. And then we'll be ready for my pie crust. And I've already got my oven set on 350. Okay.
You want me to drink a cup of that just to check it?
Not with all these eggs. Now I'm telling you, this is delicious. And you can see it's real. It's real.
Pours like milk.
Pours like milk, but it will make a nice pie.
And you can make this without the crust in little containers of some kind
Little
for
ramekin,
individual
little
ramekins.
ramekins.
Well, I wouldn't know what a ramekin is.
Well, it's just a little dish. All right. I still got a little bit left. I got it because I don't want to spill
You
this.
got to get a ramekin out.
I do, and I will. I'll get it out and I'll put it in the oven. Now you have to be so careful with this because it's so.
Let's see if she makes it.
Ooh.
Oh, she didn't.
I didn't. It's okay. I'll get it up. And then this one. And they're going to cook about 30 minutes. It may take 35, because it's a little fuller than that one was yesterday. All right, well, I'm gonna get that up. Wait a minute. I don't want that cook in my oven. But I did spill it on the door, so that was good. All right, I'm gonna set my timer for 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna check it, and it may take 35. We'll just see, and I'm gonna put this in a little dish, and I'm gonna slide it in the oven too, and I'll see you back here in about 30 minutes.
All right.
Okay, it's been cooking 35 minutes. I had to turn it on 5 extra minutes. This one is ready. The little custard without the crust, but the pie is not ready yet. It's still too soft in the middle.
You can see how large that is by my hand.
So I'm gonna put it back on like 7 minutes, and then I'll check it after 7 minutes. I'll let you look at it. It's just not, you can see it's jiggling, but it's jiggling too much. So I'm gonna cook it 7 more minutes, and that'll be 35 and 7, 42 minutes. So after 7 minutes, we'll check it and we'll see.
Oh,
All right,
here it comes.
it's ready, and it took 42 minutes, and that's what it looks like.
Oh my goodness.
Now, what I'm fixing to do is I'm going to turn my broiler on low broil. Now, I'm going to take, I've already done it on this one, but I'm going to take a little butter.
Now this just kicks it up a little. She did it the other day, and man.
This is just something I thought would be good, and so put a little butter on. Now, if you want to leave it like this, because that is a beautiful pie, you leave it just like this, and it will be delicious. But I'm putting a little butter right on top. Now, I'm going to take some of my brown swerve or monk fruit, whatever sweetener you use, and I'm just going to kind of spread it around a little bit. And if you get monk fruit, it spreads better than this does. This is swerve, and it kind of clumps together. It's more moist than the monk fruit. The monk fruit kind of will just spread all around, kind of like granulated sugar. So, but
Now who told you could do this?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Well, on creme brulee, they put granulated sugar on top, and they take a little blowtorch, or you can do it under the broiler. So I said, well, if you can do it with that, why can't you do it with an egg custard?
But I'll tell you, this is just as good as creme brulee. The creme brulees I've eaten, you know, when I was on voyages to Rome and trips to Israel, all that travel I've done. But the creme brulees that I've eaten are no better than this.
This is going to just kick it up a notch. Okay, now I'm going to put it in the oven.
You wouldn't melt it down in.
And I'm going to try to caramelize it.
Yeah.
Try to caramelize it a little bit. And I haven't put this one in, but I put, that was hot. So it's probably going to take a couple of 3 minutes for this to caramelize. And so.
Give them the warning about the high and low.
Oh, high. See, my oven has a high broil and a low broil. So I do it on low because I don't want to get distracted and something happen and all my pie burn.
You mean if the dog barks, you go to look out the window?
Yeah, or if somebody knocks on the door, or if the phone rings, or whatever distractions you those thousands of distractions you can have when you have something under the broiler. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Just as sure as you turn that broiler on, if you don't stand there with it, something's going to burn. Or at least it does with me.
The devil sees you when you turn the broiler on. He does.
He does. And so that's the reason I put it on low. So it may not caramelize it quite as much as I would, but I'm not going to take that chance. So I'm going to leave this. It'll probably take a couple of minutes, maybe 3. But as you can see, honey, get in there. And you can see those bubbles.
Oh, yeah.
It's already beginning to.
It's blistering, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but I want it to get a little more caramelized. So just give me a couple of minutes and then I'll show you what it's going to look like.
Oh, my.
Okay. There's that one.
Oh,
And here's this one.
oh, my. And the rule is never take your hand off the stove if
Never.
you're doing this.
No.
If you just caramelizing sugar on top of something,
That's right. So
you never take your hand from the stove.
you never take your hand from the stove. So this little bitty one that I put in, it got ready in like 15 or 20 minutes. And as you can see, Roy and I've been eating on it. And it's really good.
It ain't so pretty since we've been eating on
No,
it.
it's not so pretty. But as you can see, this is a beautiful pie. It is a delicious pie. And you can caramelize it or not. That's just up to you. But I just think it gives it a little extra texture to it and just a little extra flavor. So probably I'm going to let this cool. I'm going to put it in front of the fan. Over here I got a little fan that I keep on me when I cook. So I'm going to put it in front of the fan, and it's going to have to cool about an hour or an hour and a half. And probably I will come back with you and show you and cut a piece and let Roy taste and show you just what it's going to look like when you cut it. So I'll see y'all in about an hour and a half. This is our pie. I've already cut a little piece. Roy's fixing to, doesn't that look delicious? Roy's fixing to cut him a piece.
With crust, without crust.
Yep.
Oh, my. Somebody just
Oh, let me see that
shoot me.
Let me see that texture.
Hey, baby, I'm worried about the taste. I ain't worried
Oh,
about
my
the texture.
goodness. Look at that. Oh, man, that's pretty. Okay.
Isn't that pretty?
Yes. All right. Taste of it, baby.
Here we go.
Let me see.
I can smell it from here.
Well, of course. Good. Of course, we know it's good. We love it.
Delicious. I mean, this is one you gotta try.
Ooh. If you like custards, egg custard, try putting a little maple in it. It really is good.
Now remember, this is all low carb. Can't call it keto. You've got a gluten-free crust right there. Now this one is extremely low carb because the only thing really in there is the eggs and
The milk, the whole milk.
milk,
But
yeah.
I mean, that it's no sugar added, but still.
and Rose isn't trying to teach diets. Everybody knows the diet that they like to try to work with. What Rose is doing is giving you a lot of creative, alternative foods that you can cook for the whole family. Because a diet really usually is just for the person involved. But sooner or later you come back down to earth and you've got a family to feed if there's more than one of you. And so if you'll watch these videos, sometimes she uses sugar and sometimes she uses flour. But for the most part, because her health went south on her, her gut health did because of sugar and flour and potatoes, she had to invent foods that we can eat here all the time that don't give a problem.
When
we
I
were
do-
determined to make it delicious like this.
When I do cook with sugar and white flour, I don't eat it. If like my family's coming, yes, I'm gonna cook good old Southern food. But I also have healthy dishes that me and anyone else in my family that's coming can eat. So I just when I'm cooking for the whole family, I incorporate both in my cooking. So,
Oh my. You can put the D in healthy food. The D is delicious. And Rose is really good at it. She won't say it, but she is.
okay. That's almost a piece of pie gone. So thank y'all so much for joining me this morning. Let me show you the pie again. And that's the little custard that I made. And I love y'all, and please share this video if you know somebody that likes custard and might like to make this. And subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Love y'all. Hope y'all have a good day.